Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia, and today we are going to do something very special. We are going to learn English through a story. Stories are powerful. Stories help us remember words and phrases. When you listen to a story, you don't just learn grammar, you feel the language. You hear how people speak in real life. That is why I love teaching English with stories. But before we start, let me ask you something. Have you subscribed to this channel yet? If not, please do it now. Your support helps me continue creating free lessons for you. When you subscribe, you become part of this learning family. When you comment, I can see your progress. And when you like the video, YouTube knows that this content is valuable. So please take 1 second, subscribe, like, and comment. I really appreciate it. Now, let's talk about today's journey. Today, we are not just learning English. We are going to feel English, speak English, and think in English. Many learners study grammar books for years, but still cannot speak fluently. Do you know why? It is because they don't practice with real conversations and real stories. That is what we do here. We learn naturally. Imagine this channel as your safe place, your practice zone. You don't have to worry about mistakes. You don't have to feel shy. You just have to listen, repeat, and enjoy. And remember this, language is not only knowledge, it is also habit. If you practice every day, your English will improve every day. Let me explain how today's lesson will work. First, I will tell you a simple modern life story. The story will be easy to understand, but inside the story, you will hear many useful phrases and idioms. After that, I will explain the meaning of those phrases, and finally, I will show you how to use them in your daily conversations. This way, you don't just memorize words, you actually learn how to use them. I am Mia, and I am here with you. Step by step, we will make progress together. Now, let's start today's English story. My friend will help me a little bit, then I will continue.
A fresh start. Scene 1. Leaving home. It was a warm spring morning in Dhaka. The streets buzzed with rickshaws, honking cars, and the smell of fresh bread coming from the bakery on the corner. Rafi, a 24-year-old young man, stood outside his small apartment with a heavy suitcase in his hand. His mother stood by the door, wiping her eyes with her scarf. "Are you sure about this, Rafi?" she asked softly. Rafi nodded. "Yes, Ma. I need a fresh start. A new city, a new job, maybe a new life." His mother sighed, trying to smile. "I know, but remember, wherever you go, don't forget your roots." Rafi hugged her tightly. "I won't." He waved goodbye, got into the bus, and began his journey to Chattagram, where a new job was waiting for him. He didn't know what the future held, but his heart was full of both fear and excitement. Scene 2. The first day. 2 days later, Rafi stood in front of Blue Sky Marketing Agency, a tall glass building shining under the morning sun. His hands were sweaty, and his tie felt too tight. Inside, the office was busy. Phones ringing, people typing, laughter in the break room. A young woman walked up to him. She had short hair, a bright smile, and carried a cup of coffee. "You must be the new guy," she said. "I'm Anika. Welcome to Blue Sky." "Thanks," Rafi replied nervously. "I'm Rafi." Anika laughed. "Relax, Rafi. It's just a job, not a rocket launch." Her joke made him smile. For the first time that morning, he felt a little less nervous. Scene 3. A rough start. But the first week wasn't easy. Rafi made mistakes, sending the wrong email, spilling tea on his desk, forgetting an important client's name. One afternoon, his manager, Mr. Rafa, called him into the office. "Rafi," the manager said in a serious voice, "you need to be more careful. This company runs on teamwork and every detail matters." "I understand, sir," Rafi said quietly. As he left the office, his shoulders slumped. He felt like a failure already. Anika saw him looking down and walked over. "Hey, don't take it to heart. Everyone messes up at the beginning." "I just don't want to lose this job," Rafi admitted. She smiled kindly. "You won't. You just need to learn the ropes." Scene 4. Learning the ropes. Over the next few weeks, Rafi worked harder. He stayed late, double-checked his emails, and slowly started to get better. Anika often helped him, showing him tricks to organize his work faster. One evening, when most people had gone home, Rafi was still at his desk. Anika came over with 2 cups of coffee. "You're still here?" she asked. "Yeah, I just want to get everything right." She handed him the coffee. "Rafi, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Progress, not perfection." Rafi smiled gratefully. "Thanks, Anika. You're a good friend." Scene 5. A new opportunity. One Friday morning, Mr. Rahman called a team meeting. "We have a big project coming up. We're pitching a campaign for a major travel company. I need fresh ideas." The room buzzed with excitement. Everyone wanted to impress the boss. Rafi sat quietly, listening. An idea popped into his head, but fear held him back. "What if it's stupid?" he thought. Anika nudged him. "Go on, say it." Rafi hesitated, then raised his hand. "What if we create a campaign that focuses on the emotions of travel? Instead of just showing places, we show how travel changes people, like making new friends, finding confidence, or healing from stress." The room went silent. Then Mr. Rahman leaned forward. "That is actually a brilliant idea, Rafi." Rafi's eyes widened. "Really?" "Yes. Start working on a draft proposal with Anika." Rafi felt his heart race with pride. For the first time, he believed he truly belonged at Blue Sky. Idioms and phrases, with explanation. Fresh start. A new beginning in life. Don't forget your roots. Remember where you came from. Just a job, not a rocket launch. It's not too difficult. Don't stress. Take it to heart. To be deeply affected by criticism. Learn the ropes. To learn how a job or task works. Progress, not perfection. Getting better is more important than being perfect. Mess up. Make a mistake. Double check. To check something again carefully. Pitch a campaign. Present an idea for advertising. Belong. To feel accepted as part of a group.
Scene 11. A promotion in sight. A week after the presentation, the office was buzzing with excitement. Blue Sky had officially won the travel company as a client. Everyone congratulated Rafi and Anika for their hard work. At the end of the week, Mr. Rahman called Rafi into his office. "Rafi," he said, "I'm impressed with your progress. I'd like you to take on more responsibility. We have a new campaign coming up, and I want you to lead a small team." Rafi blinked. "Me? Lead a team?" Mr. Rahman nodded. "You've shown initiative. Don't let me down." As Rafi left the office, his heart raced. He couldn't believe it. Just a few weeks ago, he was making mistakes left and right. Now he had the chance to step up. Scene 12. Doubts and Fears. That night, Rafi sat in his small apartment staring at his laptop. His head was full of ideas, but doubt crept in. What if I fail? What if the team doesn't respect me? What if I let everyone down? The thoughts circled in his mind like crows. He picked up his phone and texted Anika. "Can we meet tomorrow? Need advice." The next afternoon, they sat in a coffee shop. The smell of roasted beans filled the air. Rafi sighed. "Anika, I don't think I can do this. I've never been a leader before." Anika stirred her cappuccino and looked at him kindly. "Rafi, no one is born a leader. You learn by doing, and you don't have to know everything. You just need to guide the team." "But what if I mess up?" he asked. She smiled. Then you'll learn and get better. Don't sell yourself short. Rafi felt a little better. Talking to Annika always helped clear the clouds in his head. Scene 13, First Steps as a Leader. On Monday, Rafi stood in front of his small team of 3 people. His palms were sweaty, but he forced a smile. "Okay, everyone," he began. "Our client is a new online bookstore. They want something fresh and creative. Let's brainstorm ideas." At first, the team was quiet. Then one person suggested a boring, safe idea. Another suggested something unrealistic. Rafi remembered Annika's words, "Guide the team." He leaned forward. "These are good starts, but let's think outside the box. What do people feel when they read a book? Maybe our campaign should focus on emotions like adventure, comfort, or inspiration." The team slowly warmed up. By the end of the meeting, the whiteboard was full of colorful ideas. Rafi walked out of the room feeling proud. Maybe he could do this after all. Scene 14, A Misunderstanding. One evening, after a long day, Rafi and Annika were walking out of the office together. "You're doing really well as a leader," Annika said. "Thanks," Rafi replied. "But honestly, I couldn't have done it without you. You've been my rock." Annika laughed softly. "Careful, people might think we're more than just co-workers." Rafi chuckled, but inside he felt a strange warmth. Did she mean anything by that, or was it just a joke? Later that night, one of his team members, Rihan, teased him. "So, you and Annika, something going on?" Rafi quickly shook his head. No, we're just friends." But the thought stayed in his mind. Scene 16, The Storm. 2 weeks later, disaster struck. During a client meeting, one of Rafi's team members accidentally showed an unfinished slide with wrong numbers. The client frowned. "This doesn't look professional. Are you sure your agency can handle this?" Rafi felt his stomach drop. He tried to explain, but the damage was done. Mr. Rahman was furious afterward. "Rafi, you're in charge of this team. You need to take responsibility. Shape up or you'll lose this opportunity." That night, Rafi lay in bed staring at the ceiling. His confidence was shattered. "Maybe I'm not cut out for this," he thought. Scene 16, Picking Up the Pieces. The next morning, Rafi sat alone at his desk, shoulder slumped. Annika walked over with 2 cups of tea. "You look like you've lost your best friend," she said gently. "I let everyone down," Rafi muttered. "No, you didn't. Mistakes happen. The important thing is how you bounce back." She leaned closer. "You know, Rafi, you're stronger than you think. You just have to trust yourself." "Thanks, Annika," he said quietly. "I needed that." Star, idioms and phrases with explanation. Don't let me down. Don't disappoint me. Left and right, happening often or everywhere. Example, making mistakes left and right. Sell yourself short, to underestimate your own value or ability. Think outside the box. Be creative. Think in a new way. My rock, someone who gives strong support and stability. More than just coworkers, hinting at a closer relationship. Stomach drop, to suddenly feel nervous, afraid, or shocked. Cut out for this, to be naturally suited or not suited for something. Lost your best friend, looking very sad, as if something big was lost. Bounce back, recover from a setback or difficulty. The next few days were tough for Rafi. He felt embarrassed every time he walked into the office. But instead of hiding, he decided to face the challenge head on. He called his team together. "Listen, guys, what happened in the client meeting was on me. I should have double-checked everything, but we can't cry over spilled milk. Let's fix this." The team nodded. They respected that Rafi took responsibility. Together, they worked late nights, correcting every detail. By the end of the week, the campaign was stronger than ever. Scene 18, A Second Chance. Mr. Rahman arranged another meeting with the bookstore client. This time, Rafi was ready. He stood tall, spoke clearly, and guided his team smoothly. When the final slide appeared showing the new slogan, "Every page a new world," the client smiled. "This is excellent," the client said. "Exactly what we wanted." Relief washed over Rafi. He had bounced back. After the meeting, Mr. Rahman gave him a rare smile. "Good job, Rafi. You turned things around. Keep it up." Scene 19, growing closer. That evening, Rafi and Annika celebrated with coffee at their favorite cafe. "To second chances," Annika said, raising her cup. "To never giving up," Rafi added. They both laughed. For a moment, everything felt light and easy. Then Annika's phone buzzed. She frowned. "It's my mom. She's been asking me to think about marriage. You know how parents are." Rafi's smile faded slightly. "Oh, I see. Are you considering it?" Annika shrugged. "Not right now. I'm focused on my career, but you never know what life throws at you." Rafi nodded, trying to hide the sudden heaviness in his chest. Scene 20, the rumor. A few days later, gossip started spreading in the office. Some colleagues whispered that Rafi and Annika were secretly dating. One afternoon, Rafi overheard two coworkers giggling. "Did you see Rafi and Annika at the cafe? They're always together." "Yeah, it's obvious something's going on." Rafi's face burned. He didn't want people thinking he got special treatment because of Annika. That evening, he confronted her. "Annika, people are talking. They think we're more than friends." Annika sighed. "Let them talk. We know the truth." But Rafi shook his head. "It could affect our work. I don't want you to get in trouble because of me." For the first time, there was a little distance between them. Scene 21, unexpected news. The next week, Rafi received a phone call from his father in Chittagong. "Rafi," his father said, "your cousin wants to start a small business. He asked if you can come visit and give advice. You've learned so much in the city." Rafi hesitated. Things at work were busy, but he missed home. He also knew his father rarely asked for favors. "Okay, Baba," he said, "I'll come this weekend." When he told Annika about the trip, she smiled. "It'll be good for you. Sometimes we need to step away to see things clearly." Scene 22, back home. Arriving in Chittagong, Rafi felt a wave of nostalgia. The air smelled of the sea, and the familiar sound of rickshaw bells filled the streets. His cousin Arman greeted him warmly. "Bhai, finally you're here. I need your brain power. I want to start an online clothing store." They spent hours discussing business ideas. Rafi realized how much he had grown. He could now explain marketing, branding, and customer trust in simple ways. Arman was impressed. "You talk like a real professional now. You've come a long way." That night, as Rafi lay in his old room, he thought about his journey. Maybe he was stronger than he gave himself credit for. Scene 23, heart to heart. Before leaving, Rafi sat with his father on the veranda. The night was quiet, only crickets chirping in the dark. His father said softly, "Rafi, I'm proud of you. You stumbled, but you stood up again. That's what matters in life." Rafi felt his throat tighten. "Thanks, Baba. Sometimes I doubt myself." His father smiled. "Everyone does, but remember, diamonds are made under pressure." Those words stayed with him. Scene 24, back to the city. When Rafi returned to Dhaka, the city felt louder than ever. Buses honked, people shouted, and the endless rush swallowed him again. But something inside him had changed. His father's words, "Diamonds are made under pressure," were still fresh in his mind. At the office, Annika greeted him with a smile. "How was Chittagong?" "Refreshing," Rafi said. "It reminded me of who I am and where I come from." Annika tilted her head. "You sound different, stronger." Rafi laughed. "Maybe I am." Scene 25, a new project. The company announced a new campaign for a major electronics brand. It was the biggest project of the year, and competition was fierce among employees. Mr. Rahman called a meeting. "This campaign will decide who's ready for leadership. I expect creativity, teamwork, and results." Rafi felt a spark of determination. He wanted to prove himself, but he also knew the pressure would be sky high. That night, he stayed late at the office, sketching ideas. Annika found him sitting alone, surrounded by papers. "You're burning the midnight oil again," she said gently. "I have to," Rafi replied. "This is my chance." Scene 26, a helping hand. The next day, Rafi pitched his first draft. Some colleagues rolled their eyes. "It's too simple," one whispered. "Yeah, won't impress the client," another added. Rafi felt doubt creeping in, but then Annika spoke up. "Actually, simplicity is the key here. Customers don't want complicated messages. They want something clear." Her support lifted Rafi's spirits. For the first time, the team leaned in to listen carefully. After the meeting, Rafi thanked her. "You really saved me." Annika smiled. "That's what friends are for." Scene 27, a sudden problem. Just when things were going smoothly, a crisis hit. The client changed their requirements at the last minute. Weeks of work suddenly felt useless. The office buzzed with panic. Some team members threw up their hands. "This is impossible. We'll never finish on time." Rafi took a deep breath. "Okay, let's not lose our heads. We'll break it down step by step. If we work smart, we can pull this off." His calm tone surprised even himself. The team slowly began to follow his lead. Scene 28, growing respect. Over the next week, Rafi worked like never before. He stayed focused, guided his team, and kept everyone motivated. When the final presentation day came, the client was impressed. "This is brilliant. You turned a last-minute change into something even better." Mr. Rahman looked at Rafi thoughtfully. For the first time, there was genuine respect in his eyes. "You've done well," he said simply. Those words meant more to Rafi than he could admit. Scene 29, a quiet moment. After the successful presentation, Rafi and Annika went for a walk by Haturjeen Lake. The water reflected the city lights, and the air carried a rare calmness. "You were amazing today," Annika said. "I've never seen you so confident." Rafi smiled. "I couldn't have done it without you." They walked in silence for a while. Then Rafi stopped. "Annika, can I be honest? Lately, I've been feeling more than friendship between us." Annika's eyes widened. She didn't speak right away. Finally, she whispered, "Rafi, I care about you too, but things are complicated." Rafi's heart raced. "Complicated how?" She sighed. "My parents, they already have someone in mind for me." The words hit Rafi like a punch to the stomach. Scene 30, sleepless night. That night, Rafi tossed and turned in bed. His mind replayed Annika's words over and over. They already have someone in mind. He felt torn. Should he step back and let her go, or should he fight for what he felt was real? As dawn broke, one thing was clear. His journey wasn't just about work anymore. It was about love, choices, and courage. Scene 29, idioms and phrases with explanation. Burning the midnight oil, staying up late to work, sky-high pressure, very high stress or expectations, saved me, helped at the right moment, throw up their hands, give up in frustration, lose our heads, panic or stop thinking clearly, pull this off, succeed in something difficult, meant more than he could admit, very important but hard to express, hit like a punch to the stomach, felt sudden shock or pain emotionally, tossed and turned, couldn't sleep because of worry, torn, confused between two choices. Scene 31, the morning after. Rafi arrived at the office looking tired. His eyes were red from lack of sleep, but he tried to smile as usual. Annika noticed immediately. "You didn't sleep, did you?" Rafi shrugged. "A little. Don't worry, I'm fine." But inside, his mind was still restless. Every time he looked at Annika, the words echoed, "My parents already have someone in mind." Scene 32, new opportunity. Later that day, Mr. Rahman called him into the office. "Rafi, the client was very impressed with your work. Another company has noticed you as well. They want you to lead a campaign, on your own." Rafi blinked. "On my own?" "Yes," Mr. Rahman said. "It's a big opportunity. If you pull it off, you'll have a strong reputation in the industry." Rafi felt excitement rise in his chest, but then doubt crept in. "Am I ready for this?" Scene 33, Coffee Break. During lunch, Rafi shared the news with Anika. "That's amazing," she said. "You've worked so hard for this. You deserve it." "Thanks," Rafi replied softly. "But it's scary too. What if I fail?" Anika reached across the table. "Don't sell yourself short, Rafi. You've already proven yourself. You just need to believe it." Her encouragement warmed his heart, but the tension between them hung heavy, unspoken. Scene 34, Family Talk. That evening, Rafi sat with his father in the living room. His father was sipping tea slowly. "Baba, I've been offered a new project. It's huge, but I don't know if I can handle it." His father smiled. "Do you remember when you were a boy learning to ride a bicycle?" Rafi chuckled. "Of course, I fell so many times." "But you kept getting up," his father said. "This project is the same. Even if you fall, you'll learn. That's how you grow." Those words sank deep into Rafi's heart. Scene 35, Mixed Signals. The next week, Rafi worked late again. One night, as he left the office, he found Anika waiting outside. "Want to walk for a bit?" she asked. They strolled down the quiet street. The night air was cool. "I've been thinking," Anika said carefully, "about us." Rafi's heart skipped a beat. "And?" She hesitated. "I like you, Rafi, more than I should. But my parents, they expect me to marry someone else. If I go against them, it'll break their hearts." Rafi stopped walking. He felt like the ground beneath him was shaking. "So, what are you saying?" Tears filled her eyes. "I don't know." Scene 36, a turning point. The following days were a blur. Rafi threw himself into work, trying to forget the ache in his chest. But no matter how busy he was, Anika's words kept returning. "I like you, but I don't know." One night, while preparing a late report, Rafi whispered to himself, "I can't live in between. I need to face this. Work, love, family. Whatever happens, I need to decide who I am." For the first time, he felt a strange sense of strength. Scene 37, Client Meeting. Finally, the day of his new project presentation arrived. Rafi stood before the new client, slides natty, palms sweating. The client frowned at the first idea. "Too ordinary. We've seen this before." Rafi took a deep breath. Instead of panicking, he smiled. "All right, then let me show you something fresh." He switched to another concept he had prepared as backup. It was bold, risky, but creative. The client leaned forward. "Now this is interesting. Tell me more." Rafi's confidence grew as he spoke. By the end of the meeting, the client was nodding in approval. "Very well done," the client said. "Let's move forward with this plan." Scene 38, Small Celebration. That evening, Rafi treated himself to dinner at a small cafe. Anika joined him. "You were brilliant today," she said with a soft smile. "Thanks. It feels like I'm finally finding my place." They laughed and talked for hours, forgetting the world outside. For a brief moment, it felt simple. Two friends, maybe something more, just enjoying each other's company. But deep down, both knew the storm wasn't over. Scene 39, The Big News. Weeks passed. Rafi's campaign became a huge success. Newspapers wrote about the creative approach, and his name started appearing in industry blogs. One evening, Mr. Rahman called him into the office. "Rafi, I have good news. The company has decided to promote you. You're now a project manager." Rafi's jaw dropped. "Me? Really?" "You've earned it," Mr. Rahman said proudly. "Keep it up." Rafi walked out of the office feeling like he was on cloud nine. Scene 40, Heart to Heart. That night, Rafi met Amika at their usual cafe. She congratulated him with genuine joy. "You did it, Rafi. I always knew you could." He looked at her seriously. "Anika, I can't keep pretending. I care about you. but I also know your parents want something else. I need to know where we stand." Anika lowered her eyes. For a long moment, she was silent. Then she whispered, "I spoke to them. At first, they were upset, but when they saw how serious I was, they agreed to meet you." Rafi's heart leapt. "Really?" She smiled nervously. "Yes, it won't be easy, but I don't want to live a lie. I want to try." Scene 41, meeting the parents. The following weekend, Rafi visited Anika's home. He was nervous, his hands cold, but he greeted her parents respectfully. At first, the conversation was stiff. Her father asked many questions about Rafi's work, his family, his future, but as Rafi answered honestly and politely, the atmosphere softened. Finally, her mother said, "You seem like a good man. Maybe we judged too quickly." Anika squeezed Rafi's hand under the table. His heart swelled with relief. Scene 42, a fresh start. Months later, life looked very differently. Rafi was busy leading projects, earning respect in the company. Anika continued to shine in her role, and their relationship grew stronger day by day. One evening, as they walked home together, Anika said, "You've changed so much." Rafi smiled. "Maybe, but really, I just stopped running from my fears. I faced them." She looked at him warmly. "That's what makes you strong." They stood under the city lights, the noise of traffic all around, yet everything felt calm. It wasn't a perfect ending, life never is, but it was a new beginning. Rafi thought to himself, "This is my fresh start."